What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday, September 15th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on odds.com, the odds headquarters. A new week starts. Last week was very successful, except for one day, one Saturday, where we had the legend Lodels Loshak on, and everything I touched fell apart. 0 for 7, down 8 units on Saturday, and still ended the week plus units because the rest of the days were great. One day fell apart, still ended up in the black. I will take it. But let's get this week started off just like last week. Last week we started off very, very strong. I feel somewhat refreshed and ready to go, except I couldn't stop watching football till 1:30 in the morning, and then it was difficult to go to sleep afterwards. But I'm ready to rock. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Michael Ervolina ready to go. Anilo ready to eat. Alexei Popovich ready to go. Captain Marvel. Spenny Penny Bombs ready. Adam Lastman. We also have special guest Ant L on the show. We've not had him on for a little while. I'm excited to have him back in action. We're going to break down the entire MLB card, go into NBA, go into NHL, and then tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have our NFL opening lines show. Myself and Rob Bebenek. Bebenek coming off a 5-0 start to his year. I went 2-1, which I'm fine with. 1-1 on that Thursday nighter. Sadly, hit with the Chiefs and lost to the Deshaun Watson prop. So I'm 3-1 on sides and totals to start the year. 3-2 overall. I will take that. Spenny Penny Bomb says Dallas Stars going to Stanley Cup. I guess me fading them still doesn't stop till Tampa beats them. But do we back Tampa tonight in another situation where Braden Point is unlikely available? And if he's available, he's not playing 100%. I don't know. If Braden Point was available, I smashed the Lightning tonight. With him hurting, maybe we go back to the Islanders. We had a giant score on them in Game 3, plus 278 on the -1 line. TJ, ready to eat. Mr. Wisdom, Mark Unkefer, Johnny K, Mitch Bruner. TJ, only Hunter 416 at Titans -2.5. Yeah, it was. And Gostkowski is not going to be their kicker come next week. I mean, it's just. Look, who cares if he's a Hall of Famer? Guy can't kick anymore. Dump him. Sean Alex, proud of his Stars. Easy under the Titans game. Yeah, I mean, 3 missed field goals and a pick that cost 7 points. I mean, those go in. But you're right. Final score made it easy. Only Hunter says Heat taking it. Walla Walla Doe says up money in NFL Week 1. It's all that matters in the end. There's Guillermo Zertucci. Ick Schnizzle. Tony Mang. Mr. Gokster. Dan Kelly on Rasmus Hogard. 152-1 to win the U.S. Open. Doesn't want to put a little bit of cash on that. 152-1. Dan Kelly. Rasmus Hogard. Jeez. I like it. Gregory Simmons on Heat money line. Christian Rivas ready to get to work. Gregory Simmons says Nuggets or Clippers. This whole series is just shocking. It's shock and awe. It's shock and awe that they can come back. I'm just completely shocked. And I think by the end of our breakdown today, I'm going to be on the Nuggets team total under. This is what I expect. A. Hill, he's locked in 2 college football plays already, and he's 9-5 to start the year. Houston plus 7.5 and Louisville -2.5 from our A. Hill. Keep an eye on what he does on the gridiron. Mr. Know-It-All. Ryan Gosling coming to us live from Montreal. Barham Dog Jenkins. I do not post picks often unless I'm confident. I've not been hot in WA. I really like the Chicago Sky. -3. Ooh, -1 first half. This line will go up from our Barham Dog Jenkins. Looking at Chicago Sky early. All right, we've got tons of work to do. Let's get after it. Big shout out to all the guys joining us. We got Brad Hansen, Von Polo, Ick Schnizzle. Von Polo says, I'm taking Denver tonight. Rob Stevenson, thank you, my friend. Thank you, no matter what happens. Cordero Lindsay. Double up on the Ravens was just too easy. I just think it's the most simple bet in NFL. Week 1 Ravens. And when there's no exhibition games, even more so. Jenny Tools, easy Orioles team total over yesterday. I love it. Jeffrey Murnane says ready. Bud Nino ready to go. Okay, Juan Ruiz, Christ McCray, D. Summers, 8-1-1, my God. Bill McHugh, Tony Hill, Xavier Oliver. Mike Wilkerson giving us the Nats game over. And Mr. Know-It-All says even the Islanders too good for the Stars. I'm telling you, the Western Conference is so weak this year that we don't really have an idea of how good this team is. Slats is great night. Put 50 down the Stars down 2-1 plus 810. Ooh. And you hit your Stars future to win the West. And 2-0 in NFL. That's why we gambled there. That's perfect, Slats. Absolutely perfect. All right, JT ready to go. We got Ron Crawford preparing for Hurricane Sally. But still giving us his goods. St. Louis spreadsheet play. All right, let's get to work right now. Let's bring in our MLB expert, Zachary Ready to Eat, Tony Bruscher, Kelly O'Connell, Mayfer, Jack Reinhart. Let's go. Let's bring in our MLB expert, Ant L, whom we've missed dearly. Ant L, how you doing, my man?
I was pretty depressed on Saturday. I enjoyed Sunday. I actually went 3-1 in the NFL, and I don't bet much NFL just because it's the tightest betting market on the planet. So, I do like the standard Wong teaser strategy, and then, I'll take like maybe one or two other games here and there. Ravens was part of that, so hooray, Ravens. That was one of my 3 wins I had. 3-1. But yeah, Saturday was depressing because it was college football, and I live in Nebraska, and it's like literally the thing that we like. Okay, I get it. Our team has not been relevant for probably at least since Bo Pelini got fired, but maybe a little bit longer than that. So I get it. Our team's not relevant. We don't care. It's all we have. Like what else? We wait all year long for the fall so we could all go to Memorial Stadium in Lincoln and watch the games because there's nothing else to do. Like the corns come in, like we're tired of watching corn grow. We have nothing else to do. If the team's shitty or not, it doesn't matter. And the Big Ten took that away from us. And we complained, and everyone on ESPN was all like, oh, Nebraska needs to shut up. Nebraska needs to shut up. This is a bad look for Nebraska, trying to sue the Big Ten and complaining. And then what happens? Day from Ohio State comes out and goes, yeah, this is bullshit. All the other coaches from the Big Ten are coming out. Yeah, this is bullshit. We should be able to play in the Big Ten. And crickets from ESPN. No one's all like, yeah, Ohio State needs to shut up that they want to play. But when Nebraska's like, hey, this is BS. Can we play? Oh yeah, let's all Michael Wilbon. F you, Michael Wilbon. Northwestern sucks. Oh, sorry. I'm starting your show off with a bit of a rant. Anyways.
It's all good. You still have baseball.
Yes.
And you had a successful season. I had a nice week until I went 0-4 on Saturday, which it was my fault. And I was watching back, seeing the mistakes I was making, and I want to turn it around right here. Lamont Williams ready to turn it around. Nilo says Ants Rants in full force. That's a good way to call it. Ants Rants. Ants Rants. Juan Ruiz says, ran away, baby. Get it. Okay, let's get to work here. We got a huge MLB card, and we've missed you on this show. It's great to have you back. Let's get right after it. We're going to start with Red Sox Marlins. Red Sox Marlins. This Marlins train continues to roll. They win 5 of 7 in that crazy 7-game series with the Phillies. The Phillies are now a beat-up squad, but the Marlins took it to them. Sandy Alcantara, I'm very curious of your expectations of Alcantara. He's struggled since coming back off the COVID-19 list. 15 runs, just 9 earned, but 15 runs in 16 innings. 5-10 with a 4.22 ERA and 20 career starts at Marlins Park. Let's see what we are dealing with here from an odds perspective. We have Tanner Houckuma I will speak on in a second. Miami opens up at minus 170. They're now minus 150. So a 20-cent move towards the Boston Red Sox. And Houck is an interesting pitcher. Interesting young pitcher. This total opened up at 9. There's 9.5 on the board. So Houck, 24-year-old from Collinsville, Illinois. 12th round pick by the Jays out of high school in 2014. Didn't sign. Went to University of Missouri. Went first round, 24th overall in 2017. He had 3.26 ERA in his collegiate career, just 17-18. 3 years in the minors, 15 24.08 ERA. In AA Portland, AAA Pawtucket, 8-6, 4.01 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. 107 Ks and 107 2/3, 46 walks. So there's two things. He walks too many batters, but he also has struggles getting lefties out. And I think part of the reason why there's this move towards the Red Sox is because the Marlins lefties are weak, and there's only 3 of them expected in this lineup. Marlins have won 3 straight. And Al, your first game back in action on the show, Red Sox Marlins. What are you thinking here?
I think a lot of the reason why there's a move on the Red Sox is just because the line opened minus 170. And, I know the Marlins have looked good, and believe it or not, the Marlins are a playoff team right now. The playoffs started, especially with it being an 18 playoff this year. But who the hell is going to say, yeah, let's lay minus 170 with the Marlins, even if they are going up against the gutless Red Sox? I wouldn't put my money on the Red Sox money line, even though there is value in the number on the Red Sox. Even with even after the 20-cent line move, there's still value in that number if you take the Red Sox at dog price. But I'm not taking that. What I will do, though, is point out that Alcantara he's been an average pitcher his entire career. I mean, although it's been short, only a couple seasons. 3.84 ERA this season, 4.66 FIP, xFIPS at 5.08. Those are not stellar numbers. The ERA's, above average, but those peripheral numbers are pretty mediocre. You're going to pair that up with a bad bullpen. I do not like the Marlins bullpen at all. It's one of the worst in the league. 5.27 ERA on the year, 5.62 FIP. The xFIP's also well over 5. I mean, they walk a ton of guys, about 4.5 per 9 innings pitched out of that bullpen. And then I really don't know what to expect of him. I mean, isn't he making I looked at it, he's making his major league debut. So he's probably going to have a short leash. And the Red Sox bullpen is absolute pitiful and dreadful. I'm actually on 2 plays in this game because the Red Sox, as bad as the Red Sox pitching has been, because the Red Sox have given up more runs than any other team in baseball this year. But their offense has been above average. They got a lot of pop in that offense. And with the Marlins, when you're going up against a terrible pitching staff like they are with the Red Sox, even a AAA lineup can, bash a trash can pitching staff. So, where I'm going here. I'm on the over. Over 9, I believe, is what the market standard line is. If you get even money, why not take a 9.5 if you get the juice down? I mean, you still need 10 runs to win. I also doubled up, and I took the Red Sox team total over 4 at minus 110. That's the number I got it at. So if you guys want to look at team totals here, the reason why I took the Red Sox team total and not the Marlins is because the Marlins team total is higher. And, I like to go for the low-hanging fruit team totals. I don't really like taking over 5.5s, over 5s at juice, stuff like that. I don't really think it's profitable long-term to take those higher team totals. So I took an over 4 at minus 110 for the Red Sox, and I also took the full game over 9.
Both make a ton of sense. This total has already gone from 9 to 9.5. I thought it was only at one book that it moved to 9.5, but it's now moved over. Let's go to
if the juice is at minus 110, that's still a pretty good number here. Because this is a 7-5 type game.
Yeah, your look makes a ton of sense. Let's see what the over is here on the odds.com odds page here. See what the best look. They're all 9.5s across the board. Bet America giving you a plus 102. Same with FanDuel and Resorts. Fox Bet giving you a plus 100.
Oh, wow, that's great. You getting even money on over 9.5? That's a pretty good number.
Alexei Popovich's Red Sox team total over being hitting. And Black Rogue saying nice MLB card today. This team total at Bet365 is 4.5 at plus 100. I like your 4 at minus 110. I think that's a great bet. I think that's the best bet on the game.
On the board? Or were you about to say the entire game board?
The game. I think it's a really nice look. Really nice look. Red Sox at 4. I like it. And you got to think the Marlins are going to get something against them. And then I just talked about how he can't get lefties out. You look at this Marlins lineup. Who are their dangerous lefties? With Dickerson, and then Joyce.
Funny thing is, you look at the Marlins lineup, and you're like, who's the dangerous hitter, period? But, apparently Philly's pitching so bad that even the Marlins could put up a bunch of runs. I don't know how this team is a playoff team. I don't get it. It's a small sample size, and maybe it's because the Yankees are kind of like regressed this season. Maybe it's because, the Nationals have been, I don't know. The entire National League East has been underperforming. So somehow the Marlins have taken advantage of that. I don't get it. On paper, this is a 60-win team, and through 46 games, they're above 500. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's baseball for you. If this was a 162-game season, this team would still we'll just be waiting for them to fall off after July, and they would.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Absolutely. I just, because I could have jumped on this at 9, and it's already a minus 110, 9.5. I'm hesitant to take it at a half run worse. But I completely understand your breakdown saying that there's still value there, especially if you're at a book that can give you a plus number.
Yeah, I mean, 9.5 and even money is the same thing as 9 at minus 120.
Yeah.
So,
no, absolutely right. All right. Mr. Know-It-All says the COVID kids, Marlins, Jose Martinez respecting your Cubs Cup. And we got Sabino Anguiano and Ari Miller in action, ready to rock. We have Ant L on the board twice with the Red Sox team total over 4 and you got over 9 at minus 110.
Yeah, but I bet that last night it's not available anymore. I apologize for saying over 9. I don't want to give out numbers that aren't available anymore.
No,
but if you're getting even money on 9.5, I would bet that too. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to bet an over 9.5 at even money. I would hesitate if it was like minus 120, 9.5, but even money on the 9.5, I'd snap that up also.
All righty. I hear you. We got Ant on the board in 2 different spots. All right, let's move on to Pirates, Reds, Musgrove, Lorenzen. Lorenzen first start since 2018. He's made 88 relief appearances, but he's excited about this opportunity. 5.23 ERA, 1.65 whip for him. But against Pittsburgh,
right.
Against Pittsburgh, he's been good. 5-2, 2.17 ERA in 35 appearances and 3 starts. And if you listen to him talk, this is his big opportunity. With Sonny Gray put on the IL with some back issues, he's really, really excited about this opportunity. Can he take it to the rack is the question. You're going up against the right lineup. Pirates versus righties, sure. 209, 598 OPS, very weak. 76 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour in Cincinnati. Let's see what we're getting. The Reds open up at minus 135. They're now minus 130, and this total is at 9, juiced to the under. Reds won 3 straight. They swept the doubleheader against the Pirates yesterday, 3-1 and 9-4. They hit 5 homers in the doubleheader. Are they finally turning into the Reds that we expected at the beginning of the year? This Pirates team, 14-32. They look awful. Pirates bullpen, 4.42 ERA, 1.41 whip. And the Reds bullpen is slightly improving, as we expected, because they got off to such a terrible start. We thought this was going to be positive for them. Musgrove, 3-1, 3.51 ERA in 5 career games, 4 of them starts, against Cincinnati. Last time out, he went 4 scoreless, 3 hits, struck out 5, and that was against the White Sox. And we remember the White Sox had lefties much harder than righties. But still, that's an impressive performance. He's hoping to be stretched out to go at least 5. And L, Pirates, Reds, take it away.
Yeah, this is kind of a tough game, too, because you hit the nail on the head with Lorenzen. He hasn't had a start in like 3 years. He's a relief pitcher. So one thing you're not going to get from a relief pitcher who's making a spot start, especially, first start in years, is a lot of innings. I mean, he's not going to go. I think his longest outing is like 4 innings the last several years of an extended relief outing. So you're not going to get a lot of innings out of him. So you can't necessarily narrow in on the starting pitching matchup when you're talking about a starting pitching matchup where, one of the pitchers is probably going to be out after 2 innings. Although Musgrove could be out after 2 innings also because he sucks. So there's so Musgrove's stats this year. I mean, 4.42 ERA, 4 FIP, xFIPs over 4, his Sierras over 4. There's really nothing to like that much about Musgrove. There's really nothing to like about Lorenzen here. Like, he's had some good years as a reliever, but you know how relievers can go up and down, and he's been terrible this year. You just mentioned it. His ERA is over 5. His FIP, xFIP, and Sierra are all over 5. The Reds bullpen has been better. The Pirates bullpen's terrible. The Pirates are the worst team in baseball. I don't have a play on this game. I see that at minus 130, I'm tempted to bet the Reds just because I do just despise the Pirates in every way. They're just so bad this year. And I think the Reds have higher upside. I've been saying that all year. Like they have a high upside offense and they have a high upside bullpen, and neither one of them come to fruition. So I've been burned betting the Reds on several occasions throughout the year. But in this game, I just have two leans. I haven't bet it, but my lean would be the Reds on the money line and the over. I think if it was like an 8.5, I would bet the over. But at 9, it's just kind of like, all right, it's just a lean at 9. But if it was an 8.5 minus 110, 8.5 even money, I would take that because I think you could see runs here, especially if Musgrove goes to form and sucks, and Lorenzen goes out there, gives up like 4 runs in 2 innings. I mean, I think an over is definitely a play in this game, but at 9 with juice, I'm not really interested in taking it yet. We'll see.
Was there ever an 8.5 on this?
No, I was saying if it was 8.5, I would bet it.
There was an 8.5.
Oh, really? When? God damn it.
At certain books. The one I'm looking at had it from 11:30 till 7:30 in the morning. Moved back at 7:19 this morning.
Oh.
Let's see some other ones. See if the Bet365 so scared of. Yeah, even Bet365. Wow, had moved it to 8.5 for 15 minutes.
It was 15 minutes for a reason because it probably got hammered.
Yeah. So do you expect? I mean, are the Pirates brass that stupid?
Yes.
I mean, they bring in Musgrove expecting that he's going to be their ace. Do you think he's not going to have positive regression?
No, he sucks. I hate that. That's not the analysis you like to hear from me, but he's never been that good. Like he's always been one of those guys where he has a high ERA, but a higher FIP and a higher xFIP and a higher Sierra. So you always think there should be some positive regression there, but still, or negative regression. I mean, he's average, like he's just an average pitcher. And I do think that Pirates brass is stupid. Maybe not stupid as much as they're just cheap. Because they had really good teams in 2014, 2015. I mean, the Pirates were one of the best teams in baseball. And they blew those teams up. They traded away all their players because, oh my God, we might have to pay a guy $1 million a year now. Oh, I got to trade him. And they trade away all their players for freaking hot garbage. Tyler Glasnow was on the Pirates. Garrett Cole was a Pirate. Andrew McCutchen, he won an MVP, trade him. I mean, come on. So they're cheap more than – maybe they're not stupid. They're just cheap, or they're probably cheap and stupid. I don't know. But, I mean, they had some really good years. They had some very, very good years where if they would have spent money to complement some of those players, they could have had a team knocking on the door of a World Series appearance about 5 years ago, but they didn't. They went reverse. They said, oh, no, we're almost good. Let's trade everyone away. I mean, they went the Marlins route from like the late 90s, except the Marlins waited to blow the team up until after they won a World Series, where the Pirates are like, we made the wild card. Let's blow the team up. So,
yeah, I wonder are the Reds going to get hot right now? And if so, this bullpen has improved. Do you expect it to continue to improve? And if Lorenzen goes short, this Pirates team can't hit.
I expect them to regress to the good, and they have been a little bit over the last few weeks because I expected the Reds to be in contention with the Cubs for the division. I mean, I thought, and the Reds just haven't been doing it. Outside of Trevor Bauer, no one's really stepped up for the Reds. So going into the season, we were like, okay, the Reds bullpen looks like it's going to be really good, and their lineup looks like it's going to be really good, and they just haven't performed to those expectations. So I do expect they should regress to the good. If this was a full 162 game season, I still will not be sleeping on him. Right now, though, with the condensed season and the amount of games that they have to make up is a lot lower. I don't know if they're going to be it in or not. That's kind of like one of those hard things to deal with these with the shortened 60 game season. If this is a 162 game season and we're sitting here in mid-May looking at the Reds, I would be like, hey, this is a team that's probably going to improve, and you can see them. And I would be like, in late September, I could see the Reds in the playoff hunt. Right now, I'm not sure if too much time has passed, but on paper, they should be better.
Yeah. No, I think it's a nice breakdown. I'm going to stay off, too. I think Lorenzen is too big of a question mark. And Musgrove did throw 4 scoreless last out against a tough White Sox squad. Will he continue to improve? I'm going to move off of it. Sonny Griffin liking the Marlins today. And Dan Kelly is true. I don't remember ever seeing, or it's few and far between when Dan Kelly says max bet. So he's talking about Hogard in the U.S. Open, top Scandinavian, and I've taken notice, Dan. It's something that I will jump in with you on. Let's go to Nationals Rays next up. Anibal Sanchez, John Curtis. Anibal Sanchez, I just lose my mind watching him. I can't figure him out. It looks so hittable, and he gets through games. When I fade him, he pitches well. But I want to fade him here and because these Rays just saw him, and he looked pretty good. It was last week, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks. He got that soft contact that he so desperately desires. This is a bullpen day for the Rays. This Rays bullpen is getting healthier and looking really good. Now, on Sunday, they blew a lead. They blew a lead poorly, but other than Sunday, they've been getting better and better as they've been getting healthier. 3.72 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Rays versus righties, 240, 755 OPS. Nats don't hit righties hard, 248, 716 OPS. And John Curtis is the opener, and he looks good. 3-0, 1.53 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. Let's see what we are dealing with here in this Tampa spot with Curtis. The Rays open up at minus 175, and that's where they stand right now. This total sitting at 9. Are the Rays should be a piece of on our action? Should we be using them here, Ant?
Not at that number, no. Curtis has pitched 8 innings in the major leagues, and he's going to be piggybacked with Yarborough, I believe. That's if I read that correctly. Yarborough is going to be the bulk reliever on this one. Yarborough's pretty average. I'm looking at his numbers here. ERA's over 4. His FIP is 4.5. His peripheral numbers are they're all in the 4s. The Rays bullpen's been above average. 3.85 ERA, 4.11 FIP, 4.09 xFIP. You're right about Sanchez. Sanchez has been actually pretty bad this year. ERA well over 6. Hit all his peripheral ERA numbers, the FIPs, the xFIPs, the Sierras, they're all well over 5. I like both offenses here. The Rays offense has been one of the better offenses in the league, believe it or not. 239 batting average, 331 on base percentage. They're slugging 433, and they have a weighted runs created plus of 111. The Nationals, thanks to getting hot there for a while, have actually moved to an above average offense as well. On the year, they're batting 263, 333 on base percentage, 433 slugging, and a 101 weighted runs created plus. This is a situation where I also don't like the Nationals bullpen here. The Nationals bullpen is pretty bad. ERA, xFIP, FIP all over 5. I took an over here. I have 2 bets on this play, on this game. Both of them are on overs. I have an over 9 for the full game, and I took the Nationals team total over 3.5 at minus 115. When it comes to team totals, I avoided the Rays team total, not because I don't think the Rays could score 6 runs here, 7 runs here, but I mean, the Rays team totals at 5.5, and those are just team totals I lay off of. I like those team totals 4, 3.5, those kind of numbers that are kind of more achievable. So I'm on the Nationals team total over here because I do like their offense enough I don't think Yarborough is that great. I don't know what to get out of Curtis, but who cares? I mean, he's only going to pitch 1 inning. And like I said, I like the Rays bullpen overall, but that is a low team total for us to get to with an above average Nationals offense. And I like the full game total over 9. I could see this game being, the Rays could win this game 7-4. I cash both bets. I would stay off the side though. That's just too much juice. Honestly, like when you look at that number, there's value on the Nationals money line, but I'm not betting the Nationals right now. They've been underperforming all year. I don't know how they really feel about the season going forward because they're kind of out of it. So I'm going to just stay off any money line on this game and just root for runs here from both sides.
I like it. My 3.5 at Bet365 for the Nats team total is -135. What was yours?
-115.
Oh, yeah. Great job. I agree with your over 9. I think your over 9 is a nice look, and that's going to get me on the board here. Over 9, it's at -115 right now at Bet365. Again, we'll see what it is when I bet it, which should be in about an hour and 20 minutes. But Nats Rays over 9 -115. I like the breakdown. We know that the Nats can hit lefties, Yarbrough, the primary. Nice breakdown. Let's move on to Blue Jays Yankees, and we're all very high on Taijuan Walker up here in the north. 66 Fahrenheit, cold night in New York, getting colder, clear, 6 miles per hour, sideways across the diamond. The cool weather in the Northeast goes away tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be hot, and then it goes right back to being cold. It's strange weather pattern up here, but we're going to have a nice hot day tomorrow and then go back to – it's going to get down to a 7 Celsius. I know that means nothing to most of you, but it's very cold in 2 nights. Okay, Debbie Garcia versus Taijuan Walker. Let's see what we're dealing with in the Blue Jays-Yankees spot. Yankees open up at -160. That's where they stand right now. This total sitting at 9. Davy Garcia, 3.06 ERA, 0.91 whip, getting compared to some of the spectacular Latino pitchers of the past. He's got, a lot of pressure on him, and he's pitched well. 18 Ks, 2 walks. I mean, that's the kind of K-walk ratio that you hope for in a great pitcher.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Jays versus righties, 247, 759 OPS. Yankees versus righties, 242, 773 OPS. Yankees getting healthier. Yankees and Jays getting healthier as well. Jays are getting healthier. Jays bullpen, 3.66, 1.36 whip. Yankees are rolling. They outscored the Orioles 21-3 in a 4-game sweep. Then have an off day yesterday. This rotation has a 1.95 ERA in its last 9 games. And Davy Garcia beat Toronto last Wednesday. We have a lot of these situations on today's card, Ant, where the pitcher has just seen the opponent. And we're getting it here. Toronto 8-4 over their last 12. Walker making his 4th start since being acquired from the Mariners. 1-0, 1.15 ERA with Toronto. And he saw the Yankees last Tuesday. 2 hits and 4 scoreless, but he walked 5. He's 0-2 with a 3.06 ERA and 3 career starts against the Yankees. And what are you thinking here, Jays-Yankees?
Yeah, so Garcia, I don't know a lot about him, obviously, just because he's brand new. But you're right. I kind of looked into him a bit. He's a high upside starting pitcher. I mean, I know they're really excited about the kid, and he's pitched well in a very limited sample size. So he's looked really good. I like Taijuan Walker. I know a lot of the peripheral metrics with him are bad. I mean, like his ERA is below 3 on the year, but his other ERA stats, those FIPS, the XFIPS, all those, they're approaching 5. But he's always been a pitcher who's had a lower ERA to high XFIP stuff, and that's because he doesn't really give up a lot of hard contact, and he has a low BIBP or BABIP BABIP. He has a low BABIP, and he has a career average BABIP below league average also. So I'm not really that concerned with Walker's peripheral stats here. I think the Yankees offense, people think it's better than what it is just because they're called the Yankees. They still have been kind of average all season long. I'm looking here at, I think this number's bloated. I call it the Yankees tax. This is just a massively bloated number on the New York Yankees. Honestly, I can go an entire 162-game baseball season and bet the Yankees twice because there's almost never value betting the Yankees. And I think that might be one of the reasons why so many people lose in baseball is because the Yankees are the most popular team and people like to bet their favorite team, so they keep betting the Yankees at bloated numbers. That might be it. I don't know. Anywho's, I digress. I have a half unit play here on the Blue Jays at plus 141. You might be able to get a better number at some of the other books if you shop around. But I took a half unit shot here on the Blue Jays just because their value is on the Blue Jays with this number. I'm not laying what's like minus 160 market wide right now with the Yankees. Let me look. But yeah, I cannot lay that number with the Yankees about minus 150 to minus 160, depending on the book I'm looking at right now. Yeah, you can't lay that number with a starting pitcher who's only has like 8 career innings pitched and an offense that's average. I like the upside in the Blue Jays offense a little bit more than the upside in the Yankees offense right now. And I like Walker. I like Walker enough that I'm getting a big plus number on him. So that's why I'm going to back him. And in the plus 140 range, half unit on the Blue Jays. But I have another play here too, because the kid has looked good. This Garcia kid has looked good. I do think Walker can shut down the Yankees a bit. So let's forget the full game here. Let's narrow this down to first 5. The number's 5 runs on the first 5 total. I took a half unit. Both these plays that I have in this game are half units. So they're not full unit plays. So that means they're above leans, but they're not full plays. I have a half unit on the first 5 under 5 at minus 115. And I have a half unit on the Blue Jays full game money line at plus 141.
Very, very, very interesting breakdown. Al Mac backing.
Boom. There's my boy Al. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for that stat, Al.
Down minus $470 if you bet them each and every game. Luffy.
Yeah, like Garrett Cole's been average this year. I was sorry to cut you off, but Garrett Cole's been average this year. And if you're like, hey, I want to back Garrett Cole and the New York Yankees, you're laying like almost $3. You're laying $3 on a guy who's So, I call it the Yankees tax for a reason. You can never you will never go wrong if you go an entire Major League Baseball season without betting on the Yankees. I come close. I bet them less than 5 times a season.
I rarely bet them as well. I doubled up on them to stop their losing streak against the Jays last Wednesday or Thursday. But very rarely. So you have no concern about these pitchers just meeting the opposition last week?
No, not really. Because it's a high total. Like 5 is a high number for a first 5. And, if it's 3-2 after 5 innings, I push, so I don't care. Or 4-1 or 5-0, whatever. 5 is just a high total. If it was like 4.5 or 4, I would have a little bit more concern. But I'm looking at a high total here with 2 pitchers who I kind of like. I looked into this Garcia kid. I kind of like him. I think he'll probably be good going forward. Such a small sample size, though, so I can't say anything with certainty with the kid. But it's I don't have a lot of faith in the Yankees offense to just blow teams out right now. And, I could see this game being, a 4-3 final, 5-2, something like that.
Interesting. A very, very interesting breakdown. I'm certainly not on the other side of it, but I make a mess of these pitchers seeing the opponent a second time. And I don't want to simplify things. I'm not going to simplify things, but I screw it up. I agree that there's value on the Jays right now. Let's see what you can get on the Jays here. We'll go over to the odds page. The 5 walks is a little concerning, and I loved your breakdown of Taijuan Walker. We are drinking the Taijuan Walker juice right now in Toronto. FanDuel is offering you a plus 152. Plus 152 on the Jays. Yeah,
bet that.
Nobody's over plus 140. Except FanDuel giving you that.
Take advantage of FanDuel. They're going to put a number up like that. Bet that. Well, that's because FanDuel's legal in Jersey, and everyone in Jersey, they're Yankee fans. They're going to bet. They're just going to hammer the Yankees. Yeah, but if you're in Jersey or Iowa or one of the other states that has FanDuel access, bet that. You got to punish them for putting up that stupid number. It doesn't even matter if it wins. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even matter if that number, if the Blue Jays win or not. That's a profitable bet long term. You take advantage of a book putting out a stupid line like that, like 10 cents higher than the rest of the market. Kill them for that shit.
Yeah, Mark Hunkerford got it plus 152. Joseph Gomez says Fox bet only has the plus 135. And there's Dan Kelly reiterating what our man Ant is saying. I've been betting baseball since the 70s, and there's always been no value on the Yankees because there's always had a lot of fans that bet. I love it.
There you go.
Probably goes back
they
to when
used to be the Highlander. Yeah, 1902.
Great to have Dan Kelly with us. I love him. Okay, the more I talk about it, the more I also think about that 66 Fahrenheit. So can you go over your action one more time on this game?
I have a half unit on the Blue Jays money line, and I have a half unit on the first 5 under 5.
Why did you decide to take the first 5 instead of the full game when both bullpens are looking strong right now?
I just think the first 5 is a better number with I wanted to narrow it down to Walker and Garcia. I mean, I know what I'm getting from Walker. And I honestly, I've been burned with the Blue Jays bullpen a couple times this year. So I'm just kind of looking at that. I just like that number a little bit better than the full game.
The 5 is a nice number.
Yeah, it's I just thought, when you correlate it, I thought the full game number, 9 seemed about right. But a 5, half runs mean a lot more on first 5s than they do full game. And so for me to get a 5 instead of a 4.5 is Dan faded. I like that comment. Dan faded Babe Ruth. That likes to play the price.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just one of those situations where, I wanted to target the starting pitchers. I think both of them I like to look on. I think both of them can keep the other side to about 2 runs through 5 innings. The bullpens, it's a little bit more sketchy in my opinion.
Okay, I've come full circle. I'm going to come in on that first 5 under 5. Nice, cool night in Yankee Stadium and weather not blowing out. All right. Let's roll on to Mets, Phillies. We got to speed up the pace a little bit. My fault. Enjoying taking a lot of time on
games tonight.
Yeah, got to speed it up a bit. 67 Fahrenheit clear, 4 miles per hour across the diamond in Mets, Phillies. Porcello, Arrieta. It feels like every week we talk about this matchup. And the first time they met up, I was like, man, how does this not go over? And Jin Rummy was like, I'll tell you, it's not going to go over. He gave us the number on it. And he nailed it. I don't know what to do with Arrieta. I backed him in the last start, and he looked good enough. Phillies were up 6-3 in the 8th inning and lose the game 7-6. Mets first righties, 288, 838 OPS. They're smashing righties. Phillies don't have the same power versus righties. Not only that, they have no Jay Bruce, no Roman Quinn, no JT Realmuto, and no Rhys Hoskins. I mean, this is a team that's in trouble. I was saying in the beginning of the year that I wanted to take the unders on the Nationals, Mets, and Phillies, but I was like, how can I do that? But I did take the under on the Nats and the Mets, and that's going to cash. But it looks like the Phillies under is going to cash too. They lost 5 of 7 to the Marlins. They've lost 8 of 12. Arrieta has always pitched well against the Mets, 5-5, 3.17 ERA. The Mets are 6-5 in their last 11. Porcello last out against the Orioles, 10 hits, 5 runs in 4 innings. I mean, it's just I don't know what to do with Porcello Arrieta. And then you look at these bums, and the total opens up at 10 and quickly goes down to 9.5. 67 Fahrenheit clear, 4 miles per hour across the diamond, and take it away, Mets Phillies.
Yeah, this is a game where, honestly, if the Phillies had everybody in their lineup, this is a slam dunk over. Porcello's been pretty bad this year. I mean, his peripheral numbers show positive regression, like regression to the good versus ERA, but that positive regression still like 460. Like his Sierra is still over 4.5. His xFIP is still over 4.5. I'm looking at his BABIP numbers. It's 390. That is got to come down a bit. But the Mets bullpen has been average this year. It's a high up. It's one of those things where they're a high upside bullpen, but they haven't pitched to their potential. But the Mets have one of the best offenses in baseball, a 278 batting average, a 354 on base percentage, they lead the league in WRC plus at 124. So in terms of run creation, the Mets are like literally the best offense in baseball. So they could probably get the over by themselves at 9.5, to be honest with you. I don't like Jake Arrieta. I think the Cubs were geniuses when they let him go away when he wanted like a massive contract. And they're like, oh, actually, you're done. We got could you believe after watching Jake Arrieta this year and like last year, this is a guy with a Cy Young and 2 no-hitters. Who fucking knew? He's been so bad. The Phillies bullpen, they did a lot of trading at the trade deadline to flip this bullpen, and it still sucks, which is actually kind of insane to me. So Phillies lineup is also one of the better offenses in baseball, but like you said, they're missing a lot of key pieces today. The over is a pretty good look here. I would narrow it down to probably a Mets team total over if you're kind of worried about those missing pieces in the Phillies line here. Let me try and pull up the number. And
while you're pulling up this number, why don't we beat on this broken baseball team? Why don't we put our foot on the throat of the Phillies and cash?
What's the oh my God, my tab froze with that I had the numbers up on.
Right now, if you want the Metropolitans, that's first 5. Sorry. Let me go to full game. We'll check. I'm going to check Bet365, and then we'll go over to the licensed American books on the odds page. But if you like the Mets right now, you get them at minus 130. So you can get them at the minus 1 line of plus 100. And on the odds page at odds.com, the Mets, you can get a minus 118 at BetMGM.
Full game, minus 118 on the Mets.
C-Max says Porcello, Jimmy. That's why, but
that's not bad.
The Phillies are just such a bad baseball team right now. Bad baseball team right now.
Yeah, I would definitely go with what's the team total you can get on the Mets?
Yes. Well, I can give you the Bet365 team total here with the Mets. The Mets team total is at 5.5 at plus 110.
That's a little sketchy. But if you get the Mets full game at even money, I like that. I think Porcello and Arrieta are both about equally crappy, and the Mets have a better bullpen and they have a better lineup right now. Even with all those guys in the line for the Phillies, the Mets still have a better lineup. So if you're getting even money on a -1, that should be your look at this game.
I have to do it, C-Mac. I sure Arrieta might be slightly better than Porcello, but Porcello still, with how bad he is, he's only allowed 2 home runs in 43 innings. I have to take the Mets here. Have to. -1. Mets -1. I'm on the board with Mets -1. Okay, next up, Royals, Tigers. This was so interesting. So interesting, Amp, watching the market move on this game. So we have Duffy and Boyd. So Tigers are hitting .314 against lefties with an .873 OPS. Royals versus lefties, 276, 761 OPS. And we know that Merrifield smashes him. Just smashes him. What I thought I had the numbers here.
Merrifield smashes Boyd.
Is batting .524 against Boyd. Dozier, 10 hits and 17 at bats, 5 extra base hits against him. So that we know that these teams hit lefties. We know that Boyd's vulnerable. And then the market move went from 9 down to 8. So my first thought was, wow, this over. Went to 9 down to 8.5. The market move also moved quickly towards the Tigers and Boyd. And since then, and I thought this was going to happen, since then, people are looking at these pitchers, looking at the way they hit lefties, and it's gone back to 9. I didn't pull the trigger at 8.5. I was like, why am I going to go against 2 market moves when my first instinct was over in Royals? Why would I go up against that market move? But why are people betting the Tigers here when the Royals have won 6 straight? They outscored their opponents 44-14 in that run. Mondesi is raking. Maikel Franco raking. Merrifield raking. Duffy just tossed 5 2/3 shutout innings against Cleveland. I know they don't hit lefties. What do you think of this market move? What do you think of this game?
All right, so how many times have I said modelers and the sabermetric crowd and those guys control the betting market, right, in baseball? And if there's one thing these guys are, it's freaking stubborn. They're very, very stubborn people. It takes a lot for them to finally just like admit that they're wrong. And I don't know what it is, but they still, for some reason, think Boyd is secretly a good pitcher. I don't know why. I have written down here for Boyd's numbers. Trash can. That's what I got on my notes here. Just trash can. Like the guy's never had a good season, ever. But like literally, modelers like have him rated as a slightly above average pitcher. There was people coming into the season. They're like, he's our sleeper pick for the Cy Young. Yeah, he's so asleep. He's 6 feet under. Okay, I don't get it. At some point, guys, at some point, just admit he freaking sucks. All right, just say it out loud. Matthew Boyd sucks. It is what it is. You were wrong. Everybody who puts into their models that Matthew Boyd is secretly a good pitcher, you're wrong. And thank you for that because you're giving me really good numbers to fade him, which is what I did. I'm on the Royals twice here. I'm on the Royals full game at minus 108, and I'm up. Sorry. And I'm on the Royals team total over 4. I got the Royals team total over 4 at minus 120. I mean, the Royals will get like 5 runs before the second inning's over.
Why would the market move towards the Tigers? They've lost 5 of 6. They've outscored 23-5. Cash Jackson Bet says Tigers are going to win this game.
I mean,
Chris Solomon says Boyd is similar to Nick Pivetta. They love the spin rates, but the pitchers themselves cannot figure it out.
Yeah, those spin rates right down the middle of the plate. All right, his spin rate's really, really good. Okay, I get that. Like I have StatCast data too. I get it. His spin rate's awesome, but your spin rate don't mean a bag of piss if every ball's right down the middle of the plate or 5 feet off the plate. You know, if you're walking the world and then when you do throw a strike, it's a cookie right down the center. Your spin rate don't mean a bag of piss. I mean, it's not like this guy is like some kid coming up and we haven't seen before, so we want to give him time. He's been in the league 5 freaking years and he sucked every year. Get over it. He sucks. Like it is what it is. Just let it go. Just let that bird fly away. Just be like, okay, you're holding on to this bird of Matthew Boyd being good. You just need to let it go and let it fly away. Just start fading him and you'll stop pissing money away.
Let it fly away. And the unquestioned value of a bag of piss.
All right. Also, I do have more notes on this game. I don't want people to think, oh, I'm just fading Matthew Boyd. The Royals bullpen is actually the Royals have a better bullpen on the year than the Tigers. The Tigers bullpen has been pretty meh. It's ERA's over 5, FIP, XFIP are right around 5. And the Royals offense has been slightly better. The offenses are actually kind of equal, but the Royals have a WRC plus of about 93. The Tigers have a WRC plus of about 92. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think Duffy's that great either, but Duffy's an average pitcher. At least Duffy can be like an average pitcher. Matthew Boyd, I'm sorry. The guy gave up 7 runs to the freaking Pirates. Enough said.
I like this a lot. I love when Miss J comes in and says, I'm enjoying this bag of piss theory. We got DJ Big Boss in the house too. You know what? MLB beats me, and I'm not going to go against this market move. And
all right, well,
you look
Royals money line. I think you can actually probably get them around even money at some books. I like Royals money line. I'm on Royals team total over. Jesse
Daly says bottle of piss is where it's at. Too much leakage. You know what? I'll have. Okay, let's just leave the piss jokes away. But I will be keeping a very close eye on this game. I'm just not gonna, with the trickiness of baseball. I'm not gonna go against these market moves at this point. But it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. And the weather is nice for the pitchers. 70 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour in. All right. And Dean Eden says if you're on a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, that bag of piss is suddenly the most valuable thing you own. That being said, Boyd sucks. All right, let's move on to Braves, Orioles. We have a double spot for NL. Nilo says, I think the team total Royals is good. Tigers are better in winning, but still giving up runs. Okay, Braves, Orioles, 66 Fahrenheit clear, 3 miles per hour, sideways. And that reminds me, Paco Healy, I need to be in touch with you as well. So I see that you're going to get in touch with DJ Big Boss. Mental note, I've got to get in touch with you. All right, Braves, Orioles, 66 Fahrenheit clear, 3 miles per hour, sideways. Huascar Inoa, 6.75 ERA, 1.91 whip, 11 Ks, 12 walks, 14 and 2/3 going up against Tom Eshelman. He's had a pretty good year so far, but I don't see how that can continue when he can't get strikeouts and he walks a ton of batters. He's also allowed 5 home runs, 25 innings. It seems that he either walks a batter or they hit him with power. He doesn't allow the rinky-dink hits at this point. Maybe that will change going up against this Braves team that's 275, 857 OPS versus righties. Baltimore stopped their losing streak, 14-1 win over the Braves yesterday. Iglesias raking, Mountcastle raking, and Eshelman making his 4th start last game in the first of a doubleheader with the Yankees September 4th. 2 innings allowed to run. They're really keeping him away from seeing the lineup multiple times. Braves, Orioles. Where are we? Braves opened up at minus 165. They're now minus 160. This total is sitting at 10.5. Some books have taken it down to 10. Take it away, Ant. Braves, Orioles.
I actually didn't break this game down because I didn't even get a line for it until about an hour ago. So I haven't actually had an opportunity to dig into this game. Right now, though, I am looking at the odds. It's like the Braves are sitting at minus 170-ish. That's kind of a lot to me. The Orioles have been a sneaky team. I mean, just at a glance, I would lean Orioles because of the value, but I'm not going to make any plays on this game until after I break it down more. Because like I said, I didn't even get a line for this game until probably like right before we got on there.
More very interesting urine analysis from our chat. No look here. No look for me as well. I mean, I just not in the world could I take Inoa as this big of a favorite. So, and Black Rogue saying, "Yup, Atlanta can't win at Baltimore today." Can't win at Baltimore, but today I'm off. Okay, sorry, Black Rogue, our man Black Rogue. All right, let's move on. Then we got to keep rolling. Cardinals, Brewers. Roof. I'm expecting the roof closed. It's been closed most of the year in Milwaukee. And then we have Jack Flaherty, who's all of a sudden become very susceptible on the road. Not look good on the road. Going up against Brett Anderson. Brett Anderson, another pitcher that just messes with me. Was scratched Saturday. Wow. I didn't realize he was scratched Saturday. Because I took that as a loss.
Well, Brett Anderson?
I'm going to have to send an email to the local. I didn't realize he was scratched last Saturday.
Anyways.
Well, no, that's money that I want back. And
I don't blame you. Yeah, I would take that money back too.
Jesus, I didn't realize that. And then yesterday, my Saturday wasn't as bad as it. Wow.
There we go.
Okay, sorry. Let's get back to this. My palms have started leaking.
You're like, oh, push is way better than a loss.
Mr. Goxer says he was pulled. Unbelievable. Okay. I want that fucking money back. Okay. Milwaukee needed 8 innings to take Monday's doubleheader 2-1. St. Louis responded with another extra inning game there. Milwaukee's lost 6 of its last 9. 6 of its last 9.
Don't forget one of those losses was 3-0 lead, and Hader gave up back-to-back dingers to the Cubs in the 9th. Holler. And another one of those losses was getting no hit by Alec effing Mills. So
crazy.
You cannot just gloss over the fact that they tell us how those losses happened, Jimmy. Tell us how those losses happened.
You're a bad baseball team.
To the Cubs, baby. Yeah.
Yelich batting 195 on the season. He's 1 for 18 in his last 5 games. Goldschmidt 8 for 15 with a pair of home runs against Anderson. I'm still sorry. I'm still losing my mind over not realizing that he was pulled. Cardinals, Brewers, we have a look from Black Rogue on the over. It opened at 8.5. It's now down to 8 at most books. And the Cardinals are sitting at minus 150 or minus 155. And let's go back to these road woes. So in 2 road starts this year, he's 0-1 with an 8.31 ERA, and he's lasted 4 1/3 over those 2 starts. Cardinals, Brewers, and you got to move here?
Yeah, I do, but I just refreshed the lines, and I can't believe how different it is. This was my favorite play of the day, and it was the Cardinals' first 5 run line at minus 110. But now I literally bet that an hour ago, and now it's minus 135 on the first 5 run line for the Cardinals. Wow. So that kind of shows you how bad that initial number was that the books dropped. So I'll just kind of go over this real quick. I don't like Anderson at all. He's a pitch-to-contact guy who gives up a lot of hard contact. When you're a pitch-to-contact guy, because I'm not one of these elitists who think every starting pitcher needs to just throw 9 Ks per game or they're garbage. You know, there's guys out there who pitch to contact and do it very well and are very successful. Anderson's not one of them, though. He gives up a lot of hard contact, and it shows in his ERA. I mean, and all his peripheral numbers, they're approaching 5. I mean, his ERA on the year's 4.5. His FIP's 481. I mean, it's just he's garbage, honestly. He's not a good starting pitcher here. And you're going up against Flaherty. Flaherty is a guy, I love everything about Jack Flaherty. I think he's, other than the fact he's a Cardinal, I mean, I don't like that about him. But everything else about him I love. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to be top 5 Cy Young voting for like the next decade. He's only 23. He has a career ERA of 3.19, a 3.74 FIP. His career K rate is approaching 30%. He's just, I can't talk about him too much because I just love him so much. So I'm a huge fan of Jack Flaherty here. I hammered it. I had a 2-unit play on this an hour ago at minus 110, and I was ready to give it out to everybody to bet. But now the lines moved a ton on that. But I am going to say I kind of like the first 5 under here at 4.5. I don't really think the Brewers are going to contribute to that number too much. Their offense is very weak, and they're going up against one of the best starting pitchers in the league. So 4.5, I mean, I think, you know, the Cardinals can score 4 runs off of Anderson in the first 5 innings, and you're still probably going to cash that under 4.5 on the first 5. I think, yeah, I mean, I just like the Cardinals' first 5 here. I don't want to really get into the bullpens because I actually do think the Brewers do have a bullpen advantage over the Cardinals. And, you know, although I think the Cardinals' offense is better than the Brewers, they're not substantially better than the Brewers. The Cardinals have an average offense, and the Brewers have a poor offense. So it's not like I'm not in love with the Cardinals' offense is what I'm saying. So when you start getting into the bullpen situations, I think the Brewers are going to have an advantage over the Cardinals hitters when you get into the bullpens. So I kind of want to leave the full game out of this and just narrow it down to the first 5. Try to get the best number you can. FanDuel first 5 minus 118. Yeah, any run line on the Cardinals first 5 right here, as long as you're getting it below 130, should be a play.
What did you get it at?
I got it at minus 110 an hour ago, and it already got moved up to minus 135 at the book I'm using. So
wow,
it's getting hammered.
Right 365.
What was that?
Minus 120 right now at bet 365.
Yeah, take it.
First 5 minus 0.5. We'll see what it is when I go to bet it, but Cards hitting lefties hard, 259, 865 OPS. And Noli No saying not the same Braun anymore. Okay, let's roll. Let's keep rolling. And, we're taking a lot of time on these games, which is great, but we got to get through this giant card. Twins, White Sox. We got the unicorn Randy Dobnak, who is just very tricky for me to figure out when he's going to get destroyed. 6-3, 3.61 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Can't get strikeouts. 23 Ks and 42 1/3. Gets weak contact. Going up against Dane Dunning. So we talked about it last week when Darvish was about to get his first loss. But most swing and misses by starters on the four-seam fastball. First, Darvish. Second, Dane Dunning. White Sox have won 21 of 26, man. They're rolling. Twins versus righties, 249, 792 OPS. That number is increasing quickly. Those numbers are going up fast. White Sox versus right now that they're healthy. White Sox versus righties, 268, 772 OPS. Twins bullpen, 3.70, 1.28 whip. White Sox bullpen, 3.80, 1.26 whip. This is a huge game. Huge game. Man, the White Sox keep control of this AL Central, but the margin is deteriorating. Dobnak lost for the second time his past 3 outings, allowed 5 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and just 2 2/3 last out. He's already lost to the White Sox once this year on July 25th, but that was just 1 run on 3 hits in 4 innings. Very interesting spot here. Let's see what the market is offering up for Twinkies, White Sox. And we are getting – oh, sorry, I'm on the first 5 run lines. Why don't you take it away, and I'll grab the number in a second. What are you thinking here, Ant? Twinkies, White Sox.
All right, so Dunning, I didn't really cap him too much going into this game. I did notice he's been pretty good, everything you said about him. 20-inning sample size. Dobnak, though, my notes for him. Now, if you remember the last time I was on your show, I mentioned, Dobnak is due for regression and all that stuff because, come on, there's no way a guy with his profile is going to maintain that ERA. And so my notes on Dobnak here are, told you. So because he's gotten lit up 2 out of his last 3 outings. And so I don't like Dobnak at all. I think he's going to continue to regress to the bad. He's going to be one of those pitchers. He's just there's not a lot I like about the guy. Let's just put it that way. The White Sox offense, I love it. 274 batting average on the year, 337 on base percentage, a slugging 471, a 120 weighted runs created plus. You got a team offense, a 120 on a weighted runs created plus. That's a good offense. I narrowed it down. I don't know how many people get these, but I got the first 5 team total on the White Sox here at plus 105. First 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 105, and I called it a day. I don't need to break down any more of this game. I want to take a starting pitcher who I don't like at all in Dobnak versus a fantastically good offense, and I was getting a plus number on a first 5 team total, and I grabbed it.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it's just, sometimes you don't want to get too complicated, get those bullpens in there. If you could just cap a game, find a number and a line you like on where you're just going one lineup versus one pitcher for 5 innings. Sometimes that's just the simple way to go. And that's what I liked about this game. The rest of the game, whatever. I mean, if Dunny pitches terribly, I don't care. I just want the White Sox to get 3 runs off of Dobnak, which I think they can. Actually, I think they will. I don't think Dobnak's good at all. So there's that.
Dobnak's just been the bane of my existence. I'm going to stay off of this game. I'm not getting Dobnak right, and I'm just going to let it go. I like your breakdown. Let's move on to Rangers, Astros. Roof closed. Kyle Cody, we still have a very small sample size on him. He's walked 8 in 9 2/3, but he's not getting hit. But 8 walks, 11 Ks in 9 2/3. And then going up against Jose Urquidy. Jose Urquidy is another. These guys are both tricky. This is Urquidy's 3rd start since the season was delayed due to COVID. The Astros went 2-9 on the road. Finish it off with an 8-1 loss to the Dodgers on Sunday. They have Monday off. They have no Altuve, and their bullpen still missing Taylor and Davinsky. This bullpen, 4.55 ERA, 1.61 whip. Astros versus righties is 244, 722 OPS. It's just Rangers are so bad versus righties, 212, 650 OPS. And then Cody is tricky, as I said. 3rd consecutive start, but in the first 2, he's gone 5 1/3 total. So, I mean, his career high is 3 innings, so he's not going to be in there long. He's yet to allow a home run. The opponents are hitting a 211 slugging percentage against him, but he's walking batters. Let's see what we're dealing with. Astros, Rangers. Astros open up at minus 210. There's been a 30-cent move to the Rangers. and this total sitting at 9. Astros are now minus 180. Take it away, my man. Astros, Rangers.
Yeah, it's like with Cody, we don't have much off of him. I mean, that's what I kind of wrote down here. Like, not much. He's kind of good, I guess. I mean, you're very small sample size. Even with Urquidy, we have a small sample size. On his career, 3.91 ERA, 4.08 FIP. I don't really know how good Urquidy is going to be either. And then I look at these bullpens, and I mentioned it before. The Astros bullpen's not going to be that good, especially and they haven't. 4.55 ERA, 4.64 FIP, xFIPS at 5.08. They're walking over 5.5 guys per 9 innings pitched. That's pretty poor too. You go over the Rangers, their numbers about the same. The Rangers have a terrible bullpen too. So it's like I have two guys where I have a question mark with Cody because I don't really know how good he's going to be or project long term. I have a guy with Urquidy who seems to be an above average starting pitcher, but it's still a small sample size with him. And he's not really had much to do this season because of the delayed start. So I don't know how much I want to be backing Urquidy here. I think, honestly, and then I look at these offenses, the Rangers have the worst offense in the league right now. Weighted runs created plus of 68. The Astros offense, very average, which is kind of surprising. I mean, the Astros, the last 4 seasons have been one of the best offenses in the league. I mean, what could have possibly happened this season that's caused them to be exactly average after being one of the best offenses in the league? What advantage did they have earlier that they could possibly not have right now? I'm not sure what it is, but but their WRC plus is at 101, which is, it's not a bad offense, but it's not like an outstanding number. It's right there in the middle of the league. So this is just a game where I'm like, either bet the value with the Rangers or pass. I have a slight underlean just because the offenses are so meh, but it's hard to bet unders with 2 bad bullpens. And I don't understand. I mean, I see people in the chat saying Astros run line. You guys do know the Astros are below 500 on the year, right? Like, the Astros are not a good team, and you should not be laying $2 on mediocre teams. So it's like they have a bad bullpen and an average offense, and I don't know what I'm getting out of Urquidy. This is not a spot to be laying $2 with.
I agree, and that's why we've seen the big 30-cent move towards Rangers. What about the first 5 under 5?
I mean, honestly, I looked at this game. I actually have written down here, like, I have a lean on the under, but not enough to bet it. I can't bet a first 5 with 2 starting pitchers that, like, I really don't know what to get out of Cody because he's 8 innings in the major leagues, and I don't know what to expect from Urquidy. Like, Urquidy should be good. Like, we do have samples from the last year, but I don't know how well he's going to pitch long term after his delayed start. So this is just a game where I have too many question marks to where it's like, if either throw a dart at plus 170 because that's never that bad of a thing in Major League Baseball, or pass it. And I'm just passing because I just don't see value betting this game. I definitely don't see value betting the Astros in this spot. Like I said, like, the Astros are probably the worst team to bet in baseball this season because you keep getting big favorite lines with them, and they're below 500. I mean, they're a pretty poor team this year. You took out Verlander, you took out Cole, you got an average bullpen, and their offense has been pretty average too. So it's just like one of those teams where why are you looking to lay massive favorite numbers on a team that's just been completely down the road middle all season?
Yeah, I hear you. And Urquidy, 3 strikeouts, 6 walks in 9 2/3. Von Polo ready to get on to NBA. We will speed it up here. I will stay off this Rangers-Astros look as well, but if I did anything, it would be the first 500. Let's go to Indians-Cubs. Interesting spot. Cookie Carrasco up against Yu Darvish. 74 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour, out to left center. This Cubbies spot opened at minus 145, now minus 160, 15-cent move towards them. This total sitting at 8. Indians versus righties, 227, 689 OPS. Cubs versus righties, 234, 752 OPS. Indians bullpen very good. Cubs bullpen actually has been a little better of late. They're coming off the no-hitter, Alec Mills no-hitter on Sunday. Darvish coming off a loss to the Reds. Darvish, so now 7-2. He lost that opening game of the year and then just lost to the Reds. Allowed 3 runs in 6 innings, 3 runs in that first inning. He's faced Cleveland 6 times in his career, 3.52 ERA. Carrasco winless in his last 6, but he did look pretty good in his last start. Kansas City held them to 1 run, 7 hits, and 7 innings. He's got a small, tiny sample size against the Cubs. What are you thinking here? Indians, Cubs.
I was, you got Darvish, 1.77 ERA, 2.26 FIP, 2.61 xFIP. He's got a 33.5% K rate. His walk rate's actually pretty low too, about 5.1%. Those are Cy Young numbers. The Darvish has been completely lights out this year. And even last game he lost. It was 3 runs given up in the first inning, and then he was lights out the rest of his start. Carrasco, I like Carrasco. Carrasco's numbers, I mean, they're not Cy Young numbers, but they're still pretty good. 3.12 ERA, 3.71 FIP, xFIP's at 3.63. The Cubs offense has been struggling lately. Their WRC plus over the last couple of weeks is around 80. The Indians offense has been struggling all year long. So we have 2 really good starting pitchers here and 2 the upside on both these offenses is actually pretty good, but their performance has been below average. I think this is a spot where you don't really want to be betting against you, Darvish, unless you're getting a big plus number, and you're not really getting a big plus number here. But I think this is a total look where you got to be looking at the under. I don't have a play on it yet because I know like Wrigley Field is always strange where they wait forever to give you totals because of the wind. But I would say right now I am looking at a first 5 total of 4, and it's juiced to the over. I would definitely say this is a first 5 under look here. I don't really want to touch the sides too much, especially on the first 5. Because granted, I think Darvish is a better pitcher than Cookie Carrasco, but Carrasco's still very good. And he's good enough to shut out the Cubs' struggling offense in the first 5 innings as well. I mean, this could be a 1-1, 1-0 type game after the first 5. I think a first 5 under here would be the way to go. I haven't bet it yet, but that's mostly just because I've been waiting for totals to come out because Wrigley Field takes forever to get totals. But I'm looking at it now on the website I use to bet, and I'm looking at a first 5 under, under 4, minus 105, and that's going to be a play I'm going to put in.
The wind blowing out to left center doesn't concern you?
No, that's overplayed. That's something people. It's so what if it's blowing out a little bit. They wait forever to give you totals in Wrigley Field, but the wind blowing in, wind blowing out, unless it's like 20 miles an hour, that is so overplayed, especially when you have 2 strikeout guys. I mean, if you have fly ball pitchers, yeah, that definitely means something. But I mean, when you got guys who are striking out 10 guys per 9 innings, like Darvish and Carrasco, it's not going to come into play that much. So no, especially with 2 offenses that are, like I said, the Cubs offense has been pretty cold lately, and the Indians offense has not figured anything out all season. So yeah, I like a first 5 under here. You've got 2 elite level pitchers, 2 struggling offenses, and it's a reasonable number. 4 at minus 105 is a pretty decent juice is what I'm looking at. On the first 5.
Under 4 at plus 100 right now, bet 365. Black Rogue says Darvish has been solid. First 5 under looks good. DJ Big Boss under. I'm going to stay off, but I can understand the look there. Chris Smith liking it. Let's move on to Athletics Rockies. This was the first 5 under that I wanted, and I was waiting for it to come out, and I was waiting. 6.5 right now. Let's see what it opened at. Did it open there? Let's quickly move to first 5. I know the full game did go from 12 to 11, and it's just 6.5. I want to pull the trigger here. Minaya versus Senzatella. I know the Rockies hit lefties hard, 284, 789 OPS, but Minaya is pitching very well. 4-0, 1.61 ERA in his last 4 starts. And then I don't always trust Senzatella. Just 33 Ks and 53 and 2/3, 3 and 2, 3.69 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 8 home runs allowed, and 53 and 2/3. But A's don't hit righties hard, 230, 739 OPS, and they got to be exhausted. They played 10 games in the last 7 days. They played a doubleheader yesterday in Seattle and then go fly to Mile High. Matt Chapman, season-ending hip surgery. Stephen Piscotty suffered a sprained knee in the first game of the doubleheader. They pick up Jake Lamb, whom I've always been a fan of. Colorado's lost 5 of 6. I don't want to mess with this Rockies bullpen, even though I get, and then also I missed the line. I could have got a 12 instead of 11.5, but I like this first 5 under 6.5. What are you thinking here? Oh, by the way, 90 Fahrenheit, clear, 6 miles per hour in. A's, Rockies, Ant.
I don't dislike that look. I don't have a play on this game too much, mainly because I just think there's too many question marks here. The A's, I've never been a huge fan of Manaea. Manaea's always been one of those guys where he's just kind of down the road average to me. On the year, he's got a 4.46 ERA, but his peripheral numbers do look better than that ERA. He's got a 3.32 FIP and xFIP is 3.75 and a Sierra 3.99. What does concern me about Manaea is that he gives up a lot of hard contact. So you give up a lot of hard contact at Coors Field, you are going to get lit up. And Sensatella, like coming into the year, I thought he was going to be one of the worst starting pitchers in the league. And then he turns around. He's actually had a pretty good year so far. 3.68 ERA, although his other numbers are pretty bad, like a 4.69 FIP, 4.71 xFIP. This is the game where I kind of glanced at it for a bit and just put a line through it. I don't like it a whole lot. I'm definitely not going to be laying this number with the Athletics. I don't like Matt Chapman. Like, you got to remember, Chapman's out for the Athletics. That's a pretty big deal. He's one of their better hitters. So I would say this is a game where you got to look either Rockies or pass. I'm not looking to lay this number with the Athletics. If you want to take the Rockies, look at their first 5 because the Athletics do have a substantially better bullpen than the Rockies do. So that would be I don't have a bet on this game, but that would be my suggestion for people to look at, kind of gear them towards looks for this game would be Rockies or pass, and the first 5 under 6.5. Like, you always get those nice big totals on first 5s in Coors Field. And you also go, okay, there's a couple key guys. I saw, like, you highlight a comment, Arenado's out, Chapman's out. I mean, I could definitely get on board with the first 5 under 6.5. Those are always tempting here at Coors Field. But I'm not really on this game. If the A's get steamed, I probably grab the Rockies here at a nice big plus number. I already kind of think they might be a little bit – I already think the A's are already a little bit overbloated on the money line at minus 165 range. I think that's a little high on the Athletics here. So Rockies or pass.
I'm going to move on the first 5 under. I would have bet it before the show started. It just wasn't out yet. Let's move on to Dodgers, Padres. Man, this Padres team keeps climbing, and it's very, very fun. But Gonsolin has had the Padres number. I'm not going to fade the Padres in a full game scenario. Zach Davies has been so good, but the Dodgers have got to him. They saw him on August 12th. It's important when you see him, get used to his off-speed stuff. It was only one of the 2 losses Davies has had all year. Gave 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 7 innings. Gonsolin was in that. He allowed 3 hits and a walk and 8 strikeouts over 4 2/3. I'm going to move. I want to move, at least, on the Dodgers' first 5. Let's just see what market moves have happened here on the first 5 with these Dodgers and Gonsolin. It's expensive. It's going to cost money. It's Stu Boo on Padres' first 5 and full game. I think these Dodgers righties can get to Zach Davies, and it's a must-win for them. It's 79 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour in. Padres won 8 straight. They're now just a game and a half back. Davies is on a 5-game winning streak. He's allowed 12 runs, just 8 earned on 21 hits and 31 2/3, 2.27 ERA, 1.04 WHIP. He's got nice numbers against the Dodgers, but I think this is a must-win game, and I think they get after him. What do you think here, and Dodgers, Padres?
Yep. So Gonsolin, career 68 innings pitched. The Dodgers just have this habit of like throwing some guy out there, and he's really good. You got Jose Urias, whatever his name is. You got the Red Rocket. Now you got Gonsolin too. 2.36 ERA, 3.46 FIP. 24% K rate, which I kind of like, and his walk rate is only 5.6%. So there's a lot of things here to like about Gonsolin. Zach Davies, he was a bane of my existence for the last few years. I faded him a lot. I had success fading him. I laid off fading him a bit last year. Then I started fading him again. He's one of those guys where it's like I never bet on him, but I try and fade him. This year I've been completely off of him. He's been a lot better this year than he has in the past. 2.48 ERA, 3.67 FIP, and I think a lot of the reasons why I believe his numbers more this year than in past is he's got that K rate way up versus when he was with the Brewers. He's got a 23.7% K rate versus a career 17% with the Brewers. So the Padres have worked with him. They got something going where he's getting more swings and misses. I think going forward, like Zach Davies is not going to be somebody that we just try and blindly fade like he was in the past. Offenses here, I think the offenses are a wash. Both offenses are top 3 in the league in almost every category. I love both offenses. The Dodgers have a substantially better bullpen, though. 2.77 ERA, 3.55 FIP versus the Padres bullpens, 4.43 ERA, 4.02 FIP. I think the starting pitchers here are a wash. I think the offenses here are a wash. And you got an advantage in the bullpen. So given those numbers, the Dodgers should be a slight favorite. I think the Dodgers are a little bit overbloated at -130. The Dodgers should be closer to -115, -110. And so I'm not going to bet the Dodgers because I don't really think there's value in the number. And the Padres, I don't think there's enough value on their number. I mean, it would either be Padres or pass, but I want better than +110 to fade the Dodgers because the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. The Padres are the hottest team in baseball, so I'm not going to fade the hottest team in baseball, but I'm not going to fade the best team in baseball unless I'm getting a much better number than +110, which I'm not. So that's a lot of words for pass. I mean, I don't have a play on this game.
I'm going to take it off. I'm not going to pull the trigger on it. -135 is expensive, and the Padres are just playing too well. I'd have to turn it into a -0.5. I don't think I'm going to do that. All the cappers in chat saying price is fair. I've got enough action today. I'm going to take that off. Here's something I do want to do, though. Now, I know Bumgarner's fastball velocities between 86 and 89. I really think that was part of his back issues. Left his August 9th start with back spasms. I really think that was part of it. So he's had 2 starts since he was activated from the IL. He's allowed 4 runs on 10 hits in 9 innings. His velocity hasn't gone up that much, but he is a sneaky pitcher, not worth the money he signed for, and makes sense that the Giants didn't re-sign him. But this Angels team's just 213, 657 OPS versus lefties, and Julio Teheran is vulnerable. And it makes me want to move on the Diamondbacks' first 5 at a nice plus price. And I plan to do that at this point. Fade Julio Teheran, trust the fact that the Angels can't hit lefties, hopefully get 5 out of Bumgarner, and leave it at that. Teheran at Texas on Wednesday against this weak hitting Rangers squad, gave a 5-run, 6 hits, and with a walk and 4 Ks and 4 2/3. He's allowed just 1 run through 4 innings, and then he allowed 5 in the 5th. And I was watching it. I was on that first 5, under 5.5, and I was in business. I'm interested in Diamondbacks' first 5 of the plus line. What do you think here, Ant?
Mad Bum's been absolutely terrible this year. And I'm not really sure how much he can come back. He's getting old, and like his ERA right now, 7.52, 9.05 FIP. I don't think he's going to, maintain an ERA that high over the course of an extended period of time. But I don't think he's never going back to what his old numbers were. I've given up on him. I don't think he's anywhere close to being the pitcher he was. From Teheran, Tehran's numbers have been pretty bad this year too. 8.23 ERA, 6.60 FIP, a 5.70 Sierra though, or 5.70 xFIP. I mean, I think Teheran is a little bit more capable of bouncing back to better form than Mad Bum is. Both bullpens are pretty mediocre. We got ERAs and FIPS and xFIPS hovering around 5 for both bullpens. Where we have a substantial advantage here is the Angels offense. The Angels have a 239 batting average, 331 on base percentage, a 416 slugging, and a weighted runs created plus of 106. And that's with them playing below their expectations on the year. The Angels were forecasted to have a top 5 offense in baseball, and they have an above average offense, and they're playing way below expectations. On the other hand, the Diamondbacks have just been completely dirt poor. I don't want to be one of those assholes who tells you I got the number 20 cents better than what it is now, but I did, and I can't give it out at the number now. But I mean, I bet the Angels at the open, but I can't bet the Angels now. I can't recommend a play on this game now at the current price. So right now, as we're talking, this game has to be a pass because you can't be laying $140 on the Angels right now, especially with Tehran. I mean, I think Tehran's going to be better, but that's still a hefty price to be laying with him. But you're setting money on fire if you're backing Mad Bum.
Against a team that doesn't hit lefties, look at this first 5 totals at 6.5. I know it's nice offensive weather, 84 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour out to right center, but 6.5 for the total here, first 5.
Oh, that's a really high total. Yeah, I mean, I think if it's not in Coors Field, you should have value on an under 6.5. I still don't trust Mad Bum, so I would, just go small on that. But yeah, I mean, the first 5 total of 6.5 is, I mean, that should be an auto bet of, I mean, a half unit, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, but I actually haven't looked at the first 5s on this game yet. I bet it last night, and I can't recommend a bet on it at the current number of -140. But first 5, 6.5, yeah.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to take that because I know the Diamonds' offense is weak, and I think that Mad Bum can hold off this Angel squad that doesn't hit lefties hard. And these starts are very important to Bumgarner. They're not important to the Diamondbacks don't care about these games, but Bumgarner cares very much about these starts. I'm going to take Diamondbacks first 5 and under 6.5. Then we have our final game on the MLB card: Giants, Mariners. Tyler Anderson going up against Lejay Newsome. Giants first righties 265, 758 OPS. Mariners don't hit lefties 188, 617 OPS. Mariners are rolling. 8-game home winning streak snapped with a 9-0 loss in the second game of the doubleheader last night, but they're a tired squad playing a lot of doubleheaders. Giants have lost 3 straight. Anderson looks good this year, 6 scoreless on September 9th. He looks good. And the Mariners don't hit lefties. And the Giants need this win badly. Let's see what we're getting full game. If you want to go to full game, full game here. We're going to pop it up. Let's go to the odds page here at odds.com. Full game for these Mariners. Oh, the Giants are favored. The best line you get for the Giants is -130 at FanDuel. The worst -143 at DraftKings. Giants, Mariners. What do you think of this spot, Ant?
So I was looking at this game. Tyler Anderson's been pretty average pitcher on the year. 4.50 ERA, 4.55 FIP. His Sierra and xFIP are actually approaching 6. And then he's going to be backed up by a mediocre bullpen. 4.66 ERA out of that Giants bullpen. 5.17 FIP. And what's this guy's name? LJ?
I don't know.
I don't get it. That's a stupid name. He should probably shoot his parents for that one. Anyways, I think this is like his major league debut because I couldn't find any major league stats on him. But the Mariners bullpen is a complete dumpster fire. If this kid's making his Duffy scratched.
Yeah, Duffy missed the flight.
Well, I'm going to have to re-bet that game then because I still like the Royals. So I'm going to have to re-bet that game. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yeah. So the Mariners bullpen is the worst. One of the worst bullpens that we've seen all year. 6.28 ERA, FIP approaching 6, xFIP well over 5.5. Surprisingly, the Giants' offense has been pretty good this year. I don't know how sustainable that is because none of their players are really all that good. The Mariners' offense has been understandably bad. The only look I have on this game, I didn't bet it. I would not lay the number with the Giants. That's kind of crazy to lay that number with them. But the only look I got for here is over maybe. Howard said, or Britt says, come on, Ant, you talk about games for minutes and then say you're going to pass. I mean, I got like 7 plays today. Just you got to break down every game, guys. I don't really like anything in the lines here other than a lean to the over. I do think both pitchers are susceptible. I don't like the bullpens. And the Giants have a hot offense. I mean, despite the fact I don't think their numbers are sustainable over the course of a 162-game season, I think they can sustain them against a bad Mariners pitching staff. So I don't want to lay -130 with the Giants, but I could definitely see an over here. I haven't bet it, but that would be my look.
Polo begging us to go move past MLB. Yeah, I don't want the Giants as this big of a favorite against the Mariners team that's rolling. So, although I think Tyler Anderson can slow this offense down, at least early, I'm going to stay off of it. There is your entire MLB card. Thank you for sticking through it on Polo and Prince of the City. And those of you who don't love baseball, let's do a great job, Ant. Let's do a review of all of your MLB action, and then I will do a review of all mine. What are you looking at today?
Red Sox, Marlins, I have the over 9.5 and the Red Sox team total over 4. Then we're going down. I have the Nationals team total over 3.5 in the Nationals Rays game. I have the over in the Mets game, but I'm going to have to relook that because so many guys are out in the Phillies lineup. Blue Jays, Yankees. I'd like half unit on the Blue Jays money line plus 141, half unit on the first 5 under 5 in that game. Royals game. I got to rebet this because Danny Duffy got scratched, but I still like the Royals team total over 4 at -120. And I do like the Royals money line here. Cardinals, Brewers, Cardinals first 5 run line. Any number below -130 is bettable on this. I know that number, there's about a 20-cent difference depending on the books on that first 5 run line for the Cardinals. Twins, White Sox, first 5 team total over 2.5. I got it at plus 105. And then Cubs, Indians, I like the first 5 under 4 at -105.
There you have it. That is Ant L's MLB card. For myself, I'm on the over 9 in Nats Rays, the first 5 under 5 in Blue Jays Yankees. I'm on the Mets on the -1 line. And we have the breaking news that Duffy missed a flight, so the Royals, White Sox not going to be around. Then Cardinals first 5 -0.5 against the Brew Crew. And then I've got some late action. I'm on the first 5 under 6.5 in A's Rockies. That's not my only 6.5. I'm on the Diamondbacks Angels first 5 under 6.5, and also on the Diamondbacks first 5 plus money line. That is my MLB action. Follow our man Ant L on Twitter at @AntL_sports. He is a great follow, always putting out content, MLB content, not just MLB, but focuses, does a spectacular job with MLB. And thank you so much for breaking it down, man. An hour and 37 minutes, much to Von Polo's chagrin, but great job on the baseball card. It was great to have you back, my friend.
There's only like 3 other games tonight. Like, sorry, how long can you talk about one basketball game and one NHL game?
Well, I'm about to find out.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy. I'll see you later.
Much love. There he is, Ant L. Great job. Yes, I've reached out, Jeffrey. I've reached out, so we're in talks. We're gonna figure some stuff out there. I've reached out, but man, odds NFL expert Rob Bebenick goes 5-0. 5-0 week 1, baby. 5-0. Sonny Griffin, my man Sonny says, let's talk NBA and Black Rogue best bets. Cards -1.5, Royals money line, Mets money line, Oakland -1.5. And remember, we did get Gas Station Sushi's max bets on the Royals, which I imagine will be void, but Cubs and Red Sox money line for Gas Station Sushi, who's having a great baseball season. All right, let's get into NBA. NBA going very well, although lost on the Raptors last out. Let's pull up the NBA overall record. We have dipped under the double double-digit unit threshold. We are 162 and 140. We're up 9.82 units, and our ROI is now at 3.25%. Stu Boo says Joker prop over. And look, I keep going back to Jokic. Can you slow down when you give out the final report on who you like, please? Yes, William Dickey. Sorry, trying to keep things moving quickly. But I can, and we'll go over it again. All right, we're going to start with Heat Celtics. We've already heard from one of our NBA experts, Dutch Boy Fresh. He's making a move on the Celtics first half. We will get into the Nuggets Clippers game because it's near and dear to my heart. Shy Archie, Jokic over 11.5 rebounds seems too easy. No. Well, we had Ski Profit joining us on Saturday, and he said that Jokic prop over was too easy. Was that Saturday? I believe that was Saturday. Or last time, I believe that was Friday. Maybe it was Friday. And I was on the over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I cashed with Jokic over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists, but the rebound prop that Ski Profit gave out cashed much easier. Nilo says plus 9.82 units is amazing. It's not really. Last 2 years I've been double-digit units up, but not much higher than 9.82 units. It's good, but you're not going to be able to raise a family off of being up 9.82 units unless your unit size is $10,000. But thank you for the kind words. Nilo said, I tweeted about Jokic. What's the call over? Well, let's start with this Celtics game, and we'll move into the Nuggets game. East Finals Game 1. In the 8 seeding games, the Heat and Celtics had a very similar pace. Heat were 100.69 possessions a game. Celtics were at 101.06. They get into the playoffs, and they start playing hard-nosed basketball. Heat, 97.7 possessions a game. Celtics, 96.04 possessions a game. What they have both been doing, again, at very similar numbers, is taking threes. Heat are taking 37.1 threes a game in the playoffs and hitting at 38%. They're very dangerous from outside. The Celtics are taking 36.3 threes a game and hitting 34.1%. And Jin Rummy says, won't be able to raise your family. Yes, I won't. Shane Schwader says, Heat for show. C-Mac says, under and Heat Celtics. Sonny Griffin says, I like the Celtics, but the Heat has a better bench. There's no doubt about that. And the Celtics bench needs Marcus Smart coming off of it. And they can't do that with Hayward out of the lineup. Let's talk about Boston. They played on Friday. Miami's been idle since September 8th. They've been idle, but they've been in the bubble. So they've been practicing nonstop. This isn't like old times when you're like, man, this team is likely to come out very slow because they've been practicing. And they know how important this is. Jimmy Butler's never been in an Eastern Conference final before or a conference final of any kind. Butler and Dragic have been spectacular, both averaging more than 20 points per game during the playoffs. And now Dragic had a time to rest those aching knees. Bam's been great, 16.2 points, 11.7 boards. He's going to be dynamite in this series. And Tyler Hero, 14.7 points. He's been very good from the perimeter. Shane Schwader says, whoever Jimmy and Iguodala guard going to shut down today. Really? Because Chris Smith says nobody can stop Tatum. And that's the truth. Von Polo says Miami wins in 5. There's Boston Nick joining us. Nasty Nate, Boston Nick, both back in the Celtics. Same with Chris Smith. Dutch Boy Fresh says Kemba is the key in the series for the C's. Miami have no one to guard him. That's true. I mean, if you want someone to try and guard him, it'd be Kendrick Nunn. But I don't know if Kendrick Nunn is going to see the floor because of so bad he's been offensively. THC is RZA says game seriously depends on the 3-point line. Shane Schwader says the Heat have been on fire. Best defense in the East right now. Dennis Garcia says, unlike other series, this one is a game-by-game for me. Antoine Seymour on the Heat money line. Robert Cherry on Heat plus 3.5 and under 212.5. That parlay is at plus 145 for Robert Cherry. And Maceo talking about how deep the Heat are on the wings. Ergo Caustic says an interesting point. Says, why would anyone need to guard Kemba? Kemba was not the difference maker in the Celtics. In fact, you know, he was bad in that. Against the Raptors. He was bad in that Raptors series. And Shane Schwader says, yeah, my dude, I bet Tatum goes under today. Dennis Garcia, Miami money line and under 209 in game 1. Don't forget, Dennis Garcia bet the money line every game against the Milwaukee Bucks and absolutely scored. Prince of the City is leaning Heat. And Ravi Patel is the first one to back my lean towards the over. Everybody on the under right now. Almac 8-1 on the money line, plus $692 if you bet $100 on the Heat money line every game. And then Dutch Boy says, okay, don't guard him. No, look, I agree that Kemba is extremely important in this series. Chris Smith says Jimmy can't stick to Tatum. He's too slow. So I'll tell you why my initial lean was towards the over, and also why I haven't bet it yet. And the first reason why I haven't bet it yet is this game 1. Hard to bet totals in game 1, but I expect this total to keep going down. And we talked about how important the perimeter is going to be. I think these guys are going to be shooting threes out of control. And one thing that hurt the Bucks was they played to the Heat's pace. I think this Celtics team is going to try to run faster. But I thought that about the Raptors, and that's held me off. I thought they were going to start running, and we saw them run in that first game. They had 105 possessions in game 1, the Celtics did. And then every other game, it just got lower and slower and slower and slower. This total opened up at 210.5. It's now at 208.5. The Heat open up as 1.5-point dogs. There are a couple 2-point dogs on the board. Dennis Garcia says Raptors paid a lot of attention to Kemba. Wonder if Miami does the same. I think that's a great point, Dennis. I think that's a great point. Brightware says under in both games. Ergo Kostic has Celtics to win East in my virtual pocket, but Heat just looked much better. I hope I'm wrong, though. Shane Schwader is betting the Heat money line. Ravi Patel says Raptors can't shoot, though. Celtics and Heat both shoot. I agree. I agree that these are better shooting teams, especially the Heat. Chris Smith says Kemba going to get his. Dragic can't stop him. I think Kemba's going to get his as well. I think this is a much easier series for Kemba. Let's take a quick look at the player props. And I'm certainly hesitant to take that over at this point. And Dutch Boy Fresh says, who's Duncan Robinson going to guard? Only Hunter on Heat money line and Clips first half. Scooty and Ricky Buck says, oh, that the Stars saved you. Nice job. Nice job, Scooty. Okay. Let's go to player props and see what they're offering up for us. Bam at 14.5 points is being hammered. It's at minus 150 right now. Dragic at 18.5 points is to the under. Because Dragic, I mean, if Marcus Smart defends Dragic, I mean, shut it down. Wow. Tatum at 26.5 points, as Shane Schwader predicted, heavily juiced to the under. Ravi Patel says Tatum is the best player on the court. Nasty Nate says Heat will need Shaq to put the mic down and suit up to win tonight. Chris Smith says Tatum going to win 40. Bleds W likes the first half under. And I actually have more interest in that first half over, but it feels like it's just Ravi and me alone here on an island. MHP on Hero over 2.5 assists. Viper MB says Bam will eat. There's no doubt about that. Bam is going to be able to be just an absolute nuisance. Ben Sports 24/7 says, I know Tatum and Jimmy are going to go off, but bench is going to be the difference maker in these games. Miami bench with Hero leading the way is far more superior. And Von Polo also liking the over. There's just going to be so many threes fired up. Nasty Nate says Brown and Smart will go off tonight. And I guess if I had a pick between overs, oh, much love, William Dickey. Thank you for being here. If I had to pick between overs, I would take that first half over. Over 105.5. That definitely CK will go over everything. Nilo says I like first half over because Miami will come out firing. And Coy Moore saying it's 2KS also on the first half over. I like it. And the Celtics are just going to see such a different five and Bam than what they saw in the Raptors series. Bam is so different than Serge and Gasol. Gasol. I wonder if Bam points, rebounds, and assists is a spot here from a player prop scenario. Just take a quick look at what he is. Points, assists, and rebounds. 29.5. So they know he's going to be eaten. 29.5 is high. Jake Monaco says, would you take plus 1,800 for Jamal Murray double-double? Sure, that's a great number. So, yeah, you can put a little bit on it for sure. But I don't – the assist side of it, I don't know. It's lockdown time for the Clippers. And Jamal's so spectacular, he can get his, but Almac says Celtics 9-2 to the first half under, Miami 7-2 to the first half under. I'd stay off that over. Pace is going to be super slow. And the Czar's right. Heat haven't played since last Tuesday. Not sure they come out shooting hot in the first quarter, but this isn't the way we used to see basketball because they've been in the bubble the whole time. It's not like they took a quick trip to Mexico for a couple nights. This is such a tough series. And I'm hesitant, very hesitant to make a move here. Robert Allen, and that was great to see Robert Allen. And I should watch before I judge pace. Odell Beckham said Odell Beckham took the Heat out boating. Chris Smith says Miami will be cold coming out. I'm not certain of that stuff with the team practicing every day and hanging out with each other every day. Shane Schwader says, who did the Celtics have as a bench? Look, they don't. Sonny Griffin says, don't take game one. Alex Ramirez, Spidey play of the day. Heat +2, Clippers -7.5, Phillies +110, Tigers -110. And Nilo looking at the Tatum double-double. The Heat have been off for a while, but they're playing good basketball. Will that time off hurt them? CK says these are pros. Just because they haven't played in the week doesn't mean they come out cold. I just feel like I'm just alone on an island. And I want to pull the trigger on the Celtics. I just think they're locked in right now. And the Bucks were just out of sorts. And then I would like to go against the trend and take the over. SoCal Reseller says Heat rested. Boston-Toronto series was brutal. Heat win today. Shane Schwader saying Bam is going to have a day-to-day. Yeah, but we're not fooling the books there. Jerry, we the best is on Miami. And Intex 2016 says inside the bubble, I haven't had anything else to do but practice. That's why the pace numbers aren't as important because the shooting percentages have gone up. Robert Allen says Celtics win comfortable here. I don't think he'd have a chance. You know, as boring as it may sound, I'm not making a move on Heat Celtics game one. I'm going to watch. And I apologize if that puts you guys to sleep. Let's move on to Nuggets Clippers. I tell you what I am going to do in Nuggets Clippers. And Chris Smith liking that over as well. Dennis Garcia says, Jimmy sounds like he wants Boston team total over. My concern is the second half. I guess what I'd want is Celtics first half team total over. And let's see what I'd get on that. Are you going to give me one yet? All right, let's see what I get on team totals. $53.5 at -115 for the Celtics. What about first quarter? $27.5 for the Celtics at -110. And now Max says, if you're going to bet the first half over, do it in the Denver Clippers game. Jimmy Stain. Okay. All right, let's talk Nuggets Clippers. Nuggets Clippers time. This total opened up at 209.5, and one book's taking it all the way down to 207.5. 208.5 at all the other books. Clippers open up at -6.5, now -7.5. Nuggets looking to become the first NBA team to ever rally from 3-1 deficits in back-to-back series. You have to wonder how much energy this is taking out of the Nuggets, but what you don't have to question is whether there'll be energy in Game 7. CK loves the over on Nuggets Clippers. And the Czar saying Kevin Rogers, Vegas Insider, also on the over, Jimmy. Yeah, I just think this is going to be wild, the 3-point shooting in Heat Celtics. All right, Jokic, 34 points, 14 boards, 7 assists in Game 6. We've been eating on his props, and I'm not going back to the well. Smith Legacy says all the pressure's on the Clips. Who else on that team is in this spot? Has been in this type of spot except for Kawhi. Jin Rummy saw this going as low as 205.5. Robert Allen says Nuggets plus 6.5. Give me the points. I can't stop Jokic. Well, you're going to get 7.5. My expectation of this is that the Clippers are going to lock down. Al Max says Clippers are 3-5 in the playoffs when they shoot 49% or less. I'm fully down on the Nuggets plus 300. The pace in the 8 seeding games for the Nuggets was the lowest of all the teams, 97.50. In this series, it's 96.25. It's low. Jason Lowry says this game will be decided under 5. Denver not winning last 2 just to get smashed. MHB says they should put Harrell in the fridge for this game. Dutch Boy Fresh says Clips first half my look, but this series has frustrated the hell out of me. There's Trotwam in the house. We've missed Trotwam on this show. Brandon Lugo says Clippers win this, but cover, I do not know. And Shane Twain talking about Joker being on fire in this series. Prince of the City on Clippers first half. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets team total under 100.5 at -120. Nuggets team total under 100.5 at -120. Everything's on the line for the Clippers, and I understand the pressure is on the line for the Clippers. And Kawhi's not going to make some big speech in the locker room. And we know that Doc's not going to give some speech. That's not Doc. That's not what Doc does. But I expect this team to man up defensively. If there's one thing I can count on in this game, is the Clippers playing defense and the Nuggets playing at their slow pace. If I like the Nuggets to continue on in this playoffs which I do, and that's an easy thing to say on a team that's a 7.5-point favorite, then I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets team total under 100.5 and minus 120. So that's my look. I so badly want to bet on Heat Celtics, but I'm not going to. I need to watch game one. I told you my leans. And I do lean to the Celtics early, but I'm not on the basis of saying that this Heat team is going to be out of sorts because they've had days off, because they haven't left the bubble. Much love, Intex. Nuggets team total under 100.5. That's my NBA action. Shane Schwader saying, what's Porter Jr.'s points props? I will give you his points props here at Bet365. Jokic at the exact same spot he was in game 5 and 6 at 24. Actually, game 5, he was 23.5. Game 6, 24.5. Game 7, 24.5. Porter is at 11.5, juice to the under. And Andrew says, any hockey thoughts? Yes. Let's move on to NHL. Islanders Lightning East Finals Game 5. Tampa Bay up 3-1. And if Braden Point was healthy, you would see me on the Tampa Bay Lightning. But he's not healthy. William Dickey says, here's the move. Take Miami, Boston, over 208, and Denver plus 7.5. I like that you're on the over 2. And Nilo says, go alternative total under 98.5 for plus money. I want the 100.5. I want the 100. Shantae Hubbard says, love the over 5 goals. We did this in game 3. The Islanders' backs were against the wall. Braden Point was hurt. And Braden Point was back in action until he got hit by Pelech in game 4. Mr. Gokster says Isles missing a few players too. I understand that. But they're not missing their best players. And I know that Barzal is hurting right now. But when you look at this Lightning team without Braden Point, and we know without Stammer, I think the Islanders can extend this series. And I don't know if I would play Braden Point here if he's hurting. Oh, Howard says Nugs under 100.5 team total. What's likelihood of game going into OT? With a 7.5 point spread, oh, Howard, I think it's fine. And William Dickey on that over 2.5 Miami Boston. I love that look. I think the Islanders can extend this series. And I think Trotsy can get the most out of them. And I think we're getting decent enough value to take to take the Islanders here. One thing we did is we talked about this lineup with Cirelli as their first line center. And it's not that good. Mr. Rizzo says over 2.5 for Islanders' best play of the day. I don't dislike it. Bleds W says Tampa smells blood in the water. Everyone will step up. I think Braden Point is hurt. I think he's hurt. And I think the Islanders can extend the series. Sean Moser says, if Point is out, I'm on Trotz in this Islanders team to extend the series. If Point is out. I agree. But I don't want to wait. Because there's already been a move towards the Islanders. And if Braden Point is announced out, there's going to be a bigger one. I took the -1 line in game 3, and I'm not going to do that here. Scooty and Ricky Butchell says, how about the over? I think it's going to go over. I don't dislike the over. But without Braden Point, I don't expect offense from the Lightning. And with the Lightning putting it all on the line, I think offense will be harder to come. So, Shane Schwader, you were absolutely right. So, in NHL, I am taking the New York Islanders. I'm getting plus 160 at Bet365 to extend the series to a Game 6. And then I will happily go back to the Lightning train if they have a healthy Braden Point ready to go. And I'm telling you, man, if I'm coaching the Lightning, I give Braden Point a couple days to get better. Bleds W says, even with Point out Tampa too strong, they score at will. Islanders can't keep up. I don't know, Bleds. Sean Alex says maybe a sneaky under. This total is at minus, it's still at 5.5, so they're thinking under. And it's at minus 150. So if we go to, they're not giving us alternate. Wow, they're not giving us an alternate total at this point. Wow, very interesting. Oh, here, sorry, my fault. They are. But they're not giving us a 5. You have to take under 4.5 at plus 180. Mr. Gokster says Stammer is close to returning. I get it. Yeah, minus 155, Mr. Gokster, and they're not giving us a 5. All right, I'm on the New York Islanders at plus 160. Islanders at plus 160. In NHL, we lost our last bet on the Knights, and that was in Game 4. We're down 1.16 units on the season. Average line of plus 120. We're 129 and a 151. Okay, let's review our action in totality here. In MLB, I'm on the over 9 in Nats Rays. I'm on the first 5 under 5 in Blue Jays Yankees. If I go to bet these right after this show and it's gone down a half run, any of these, I won't bet them. Mets minus 1 at plus 100. Cardinals first 5 minus a half. That was minus 120. If it's that much worse than minus 120, let's just check it out right now before I just get my heart broken when I go to bet it. Still minus 120. Okay, good. Then Athletics, Rockies, first 5 under 6.5. Much love, Prince of the City, my man. Thank you for joining us. Diamondbacks, first 5 and first 5 under 6.5. That's my whole MLB card. Yes, D Summers, I know all the trends are saying the under. All the trends are. Heat Celtics. Man. I'm going to stay off. I lean to the over. And Nuggets, Clippers, Nuggets team total under 100.5. And then Islanders at plus 160. Islanders at plus 160. And that is my action. And that is our show. All 2 hours and 8 minutes of it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our guest, Aunt L. Tomorrow we have Noli Knows on the show, and we have no show without these great cappers in the chat. Thank you so much for all of your support. And no, Viper, I'm not on the Lightning to close it out. I'm on the Islanders at plus 160. Victor Hugo Espinoza, my man. Mr. Wisdom. Alex Ramirez. Spidey play of the day. Islanders plus 160. Heat plus 2. Clippers minus 7.5. Phillies plus 110. Tigers minus 110. A. Hilly. Alexei Popovich. Dennis Garcia. Brandon Lugo. Johnny K. Boston Nick. Barry Allen. Robert Allen. Robert Jerry. Viper MB. Birdie. The Leafs are playing live from Birdie. Shane Schwader. D. Summers. Imp 13. Andrew. Prince of the City, Michael Irvalina, Bleds W, Mr. Gokster, John Garcia, Magomed, CK, Connor Max, Lats 45, Chili Dog Dooley, Scooty and Ricky Butt Channel, Sean Alex, all you guys, Vincent, Gigante, Nilo, all you guys, thank you so much for your support. We had a great week up until Saturday last week and still ended up plus units. We had a great start to the week. I want another one right here. There's Drew Martin, Ron Fig, Leche. Hey, those bookmakers! Let's get paid in full. Go get it. Catch you guys tonight. Big NFL show. Opening lines, 8 p.m. Eastern with Rob Bebenek. We went 7-1 on the show, plus 5.95 units starting off our first Sunday show. We want more.